There is a company that may know where you go, what you search for, what you watch, what you buy, what you worry about, and what you are interested in. You probably use its products every day. You may have searched through it this morning. You may have watched its videos. You may have used its maps to find a restaurant. And you may have carried its software in your pocket for years. The company is Google. But here's the uncomfortable question. How much can Google actually learn about a person from billions of tiny digital actions? Because you don't have to tell Google your entire life story. You simply have to use the internet, and every search, location request, video, click, and interaction can become another piece of the puzzle. The strange part isn't that the company collects data. It's what those individual pieces can reveal when they are connected. Google began with a deceptively simple idea: help people find information. In the late 1990s, the internet was already growing rapidly, but finding useful information was difficult. Search engines existed, but Google's approach to ranking pages helped it become extraordinarily influential. Then Google expanded. Search became only the beginning. Email, Maps, YouTube, Chrome, Android, cloud services, advertising, and countless other tools became part of the company's ecosystem. The result was something unusual. Google wasn't simply sitting in one corner of your digital life. It was appearing in many corners at once. And that matters because information becomes much more powerful when separate pieces can be connected. A search by itself may reveal very little. A location by itself may reveal very little. A YouTube video by itself may reveal very little. But together, they can create patterns. Imagine you search for something late at night. Perhaps you're planning a trip. Perhaps you're researching a medical condition. Perhaps you're looking for a new job. Perhaps you're simply curious about something you would never mention to another person. The search itself is only one event, but your behavior can produce a larger picture over time. Search history can reveal interests, location data can reveal routines, Maps interactions can reveal places you visit, YouTube activity can reveal subjects that hold your attention, online advertising interactions can reveal which products or services interest you. And when you voluntarily provide information to an account, that can add another layer. This doesn't mean Google literally knows every thought inside your head. It doesn't. And it doesn't mean every employee at Google can casually look through your personal life. Modern data systems are much more complicated than that. But the scale of behavioral information available to large technology companies is enormous. And this leads to one of the most important ideas in the modern internet. You don't have to explicitly reveal something for your behavior to reveal it. Consider location. You don't have to announce, "I'm at the airport." Your phone can potentially provide location information to services that have permission to use it. You don't have to announce, "I visit this neighborhood every Tuesday." Repeated location patterns can make routines visible. You don't have to say, "I'm interested in this subject." Your searches and viewing behavior may communicate that interest. This is why data is sometimes compared to digital footprints. Every individual footprint seems insignificant, but thousands of footprints can reveal where someone has been. And Google has something that many smaller companies don't: scale. Hundreds of millions, even billions of people interact with Google's ecosystem in different ways. That creates an extraordinary amount of information. But there is another piece of the puzzle: advertising. Google's business model has historically relied heavily on advertising, and advertising works better when marketers can reach people who are more likely to care about what is being promoted. If someone searches for running shoes, for example, advertisements related to running may be more relevant than advertisements for unrelated products. The basic idea is simple. Better information can produce better targeting, and better targeting can make advertising more valuable. This helped create one of the most powerful economic systems in internet history. Attention became measurable, behavior became data, data became useful for prediction, and prediction became commercially valuable. But this is where things get complicated, because there is a major difference between knowing something and understanding someone. A system might know that you searched for expensive hotels. That doesn't necessarily mean you're wealthy. Maybe you're planning a vacation for someone else. Maybe you're writing an article. Maybe you were simply curious. Data needs context, and algorithms don't magically know the truth. They make predictions based on patterns. Sometimes those predictions are useful. Sometimes they're completely wrong. This distinction is critical. People often imagine technology companies as having a perfect digital file containing everything about them. Reality is messier. Data can be incomplete. It can be outdated. it can be inferred incorrectly. Different services may have different information, and privacy settings can affect what is collected and used. Still, the underlying principle remains powerful. The modern internet has made human behavior increasingly measurable, and Google sits at one of the most important intersections of that system, the search box. Perhaps the most revealing product is also the simplest. The search box. Think about what people search for. Questions they are too embarrassed to ask. Things they are worried about. Things they want to buy. Places they want to visit. Jobs they want to find. People they want to understand. Problems they want to solve. And things they don't want anyone else to know they are thinking about. A search engine became a window into human curiosity, and that creates an unusual relationship. We type questions into a machine that doesn't judge us. There is no awkward facial expression, no embarrassment, no human reaction, just an answer. So people can become incredibly honest with search engines, sometimes more honest than they are with other people. But there is a second transformation happening. Search isn't only about finding information anymore. For many people, Google has become a gateway to the world. Want to know where to eat? Search. Want directions? Maps. Want to learn how something works? Search or YouTube. Want to compare products? Search. Want to know what a word means? Search. Want to see what happened today? Search. This creates something that would have been almost impossible to imagine a few decades ago. A single company can become a routine interface between billions of people and the information around them. And that gives it enormous influence. The YouTube connection. Then there is YouTube. Google acquired YouTube in 2006. The significance of that decision became enormous as online video exploded. Today, YouTube is not simply a website for watching funny clips. It is a search engine for video, a learning platform, an entertainment network, a news destination, a music platform, a place where creators build businesses, and an enormous source of behavioral signals. What you watch matters, but what you don't watch can matter too. What you search for matters. What you click matters. How long you stay can matter. What you repeatedly return to can reveal interests. And recommendation systems use behavioral signals to decide what content might keep you engaged. This creates another feedback loop. You watch something, the system learns, it recommends something related. You watch that, the system learns more. Over time, your feed becomes increasingly personalized. And eventually you may wonder, did I choose what I watched, or did the system become extremely good at choosing what I would watch? The answer is usually somewhere in between. You are still making choices, but those choices happen inside an environment designed to predict what you might want next. The turning point, Rabbler. And this is where the story becomes bigger than Google. Because Google isn't unique in collecting data. Apple, Meta, Amazon, TikTok, Microsoft, advertisers, data brokers, apps, websites, and countless other organizations operate within a massive digital ecosystem. The real revolution isn't one company knowing everything. It's that modern life generates enormous quantities of behavioral information, and technology has become extremely good at processing it. The most powerful information may not be something you explicitly tell a company. It may be something the system infers. Your habits, your preferences, your routines, your likely interests, your responses to certain content, the places you repeatedly visit, the products you repeatedly investigate. These aren't necessarily facts, they're predictions. And predictions are becoming increasingly valuable. Imagine a system that doesn't just know what you did yesterday. Imagine one that can estimate what you're likely to do tomorrow. That's where artificial intelligence enters the story. Machine learning systems can analyze enormous data sets and identify patterns humans would struggle to see manually. The future of personal data may therefore be less about storing a giant diary about you. It may be about building increasingly sophisticated predictions about you, and that changes the privacy question. The question isn't only, what does a company know about me? It becomes, what can a company predict about me? Big picture there is also an important paradox. Many people genuinely want personalized technology. They want better search results. They want relevant recommendations. They want traffic predictions. They want spam filters. They want translation. They want useful advertisements instead of completely random ones. They want technology to understand what they're asking. Personalization requires information, so there is a trade-off. More data can produce more convenience, but more data can also create greater privacy concerns. The difficult part is deciding where the line should be. How much information should companies collect? How long should they keep it? What should users be allowed to delete? How transparent should algorithms be? Who should have access? And what happens when the predictions are wrong? These questions are becoming more important as technology becomes more deeply integrated into everyday life, because the internet is no longer somewhere we occasionally visit. It is part of the environment in which we live. Our phones know where we are. Our browsers know what we search. Our apps know what we interact with. Our platforms know what holds our attention. And artificial intelligence is becoming increasingly capable of connecting those signals. Google's greatest achievement may not have been building the world's most famous search engine. It may have been helping create a world where information about human behavior became one of the most valuable resources on Earth. Every search is a question. Every click is a signal. Every video watched is a preference. Every location can become a pattern. And millions of tiny actions can eventually form something that looks remarkably like a portrait. Not a portrait of your face, a portrait of your behavior. The unsettling part is that you don't have to sit down and tell anyone who you are. You can simply live your digital life. Search, watch, click, travel, buy, scroll, repeat, and the systems around you can gradually learn from the pattern. So the next time you open a search box and type a question, remember, you may be searching for information, but the internet may also be learning something about you.